I think this is important regardless of kind of which side of the betrayal you find yourself on, whether you're the person who committed that betrayal or you're the person experiencing that betrayal. Understanding what's going on in your brain, in your body, in your nervous system, um, I just think it's really potentially powerful because it's validating. It lets you know this isn't just all in your head. You know, there's something real to this, and I love especially getting to talk about this in front of audiences where we can talk about our faith at the same time. You know, God, God's design for us isn't, oh, well, your body it's just a body and it doesn't really matter. Your spirit's what matters, your soul is what matters, and your body's just kind of the container it has to be in until you go to heaven. That's not the biblical narrative at all. Our bodies really matter, and there's a strong integration between what's happening in our bodies and what's happening in the formation of our soul. And so understanding, for example, that addiction is real, that compulsive behaviors are real. It's not merely lack of willpower. It's not merely moral weakness or whatever. Is it sin? Yeah, I'm you know, some people try to steer away and make it all sort of this, you know, disease model thing and take morality out of it. I can't get there. Sorry. You know, things are still right and things are still wrong, but it's also not that simple, right? And I think that's part of the fall, like in Romans 8, where Paul writes about how all creation is groaning, waiting eagerly for, you know, this to be set free from bondage to decay. Well, our bodies are part of that. He says, and we ourselves are groaning too. And part of that is that the effects of the fall and the effects of sin include these things that happen in our brains, these hijacked neural pathways that can develop that undermine our ability to image God as we're designed to do.
Hmm.
And so addiction is real. And at the same time, flipping to the other side of this for the person who experienced the betrayal and discovered the betrayal and is now, you know, cycling around these questions, you know, he or she can't even stop asking these questions, but what, but where, but how, but, you know, or maybe so hyper vigilant now, so keyed up, so on edge, so raw. Maybe they're using language they never used to use. Maybe they're finding themselves with these outbursts that are so contrary to the identity they have for themselves. Well, guess what? We know that the discovery of betrayal has a traumatic effect, literally, physically, in the neural pathways of the brain, affecting the amygdala and affecting the hippocampus and causing these symptoms. So understanding that this is real, like observable, these things going on in the brain, it means you're not crazy. It means maybe your brain is reacting just the way it was designed to react, to protect you. You know, so there's hope in that. There's also hope in that because it means your brain can heal.
Yeah, I know early in my recovery process, that was a tremendous source of hope because felt like I had tried. You know, I wasn't living this closet double life that finally got exposed. Like I was living a 15-year journey of every time was the last time. And so I had the accountability software and had the guardrails and, you know, all these things in place that you feel hopeless of like, what more can I do? And I kind of took that into counseling of like, well, I don't know what you're going to tell me that I haven't already tried. And I was thinking more of methods and divert the eyes and snap the rubber band and they start going into the brain. It's like, whoa, what? Like you can actually see in my brain these pathways and I was very much in the morality sin camp of like, well, that's just the problem. I need to stop doing this bad behavior. And when I began to understand this whole body brain connection and the pathways in the brain and what transformation looked like, I think that hope was very different than anything I'd experienced because it wasn't just hope of going one more day of sobriety. It was hope of something can actually change. And yes, it will involve my morality and it will involve choosing right over wrong, but that there was a lot more to the story than I understood. And having someone who'd walked that road and was a professional in this area explain it and unpack it, it was like, oh, a whole new world opened up. And I think when that
Yeah.
happens, we have hope because we see there's so much more that I've just never even understood here. And that is, I think, a big part of what we do in the various work and ministries that we're a part of.
This is actually part of what I'm going to get to talk about at the summit coming up. Is I'm going to talk in part about the importance of our bodies and what we do with our bodies and how our bodies really, really matter. And I think, I mean, I've worked at this point, I don't even know, hundreds. I might even be able to say over 1,000. I don't know, because I don't really keep track of the numbers, but I've worked with a lot of men to some degree or another, whether it's in groups that I'm large groups I'm coaching or even just individually. I've worked with lots and lots of men in recovery and lots of guys who are sent to me because they've struggled to actually get sober and get traction in recovery. And what I have learned is now I always start with what's going on in their physical body. Always. Are you getting enough sleep? What are you eating? How much movement are you getting? Those questions. Because if your body physically is compromised, it will compromise the healing of your mind, of your soul. I really believe that.